You're listening to the Life of Lozo podcast.
We are live here at Life of Lozo.
He is the funniest, smartest, sexiest guy I know.
Lozo is now live.
Yo, on this episode, I sit down with amateur MMA fighter and Jacksonville native Reggie Mack. We discuss how he got the nickname Snapback, his obsession with popcorn, and he shares his gratefulness for the Josh Saman MMA Foundation scholarship he recently received. Thank you to our sponsors, State 2 Studios, The Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Ronz Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Shirts and more, TheMishmash.com, and Jack's Nutrition. Let's go. Yo, Life of Lozo podcast. We are here live in Studio A of State 2 Studios STS podcast, Jacksonville, Florida. Woo! It is nice this week. It's been a little bit rainy.
Wet.
A little bit wet and rainy, but other than that, it's been a beautiful. I can't complain. Today was gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? It's a good weekend here in Jacksonville, and super excited to have on the show Reggie Snapback Mack.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah. So I had an opportunity about a week ago to head out to Combat Fight in Orlando, Florida. Shouts to Mitchell and the whole crew out there for a hell of an event. It was a great time. It's really cool. I'm an MMA fan, a UFC fan, a Bellator fan, whatever. Like every fan of fighting, if I can see it, I'm gonna watch it. But there's always something about going somewhere live and seeing a live fight, and especially when it's like a local fight. Just because like not having a million people in the auditorium, but having people that are really dedicated to the fighters, friends and family, that type of thing. And it was a great time, man. And I saw you fight, and I gotta say, like when Platinum Mike Perry pulls you aside and says, "That was a hell of a fight, my friend. I'm impressed." And he's a UFC fighter. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it definitely it was amazing, actually. I was a little shocked at first. I was talking to you at the moment.
Yep.
I had to do a double take. I was like, whoa, that's Mike Perry right there.
Yep.
Like, did he just say he was excited to see me fight and want to see me fight again? I'm like,
yeah.
I thought I would be telling him that.
Right.
So it was definitely an honor,
Yeah, man. So he was a great guy. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit and catch up with him, and just him talking to the fans, taking every picture with everybody that want to take a picture with him. And he had just found out, he's fighting Thiago Alves in September, so he's excited for that. Yeah. So that was dope, man. Well, cool. Well, welcome to the show. And I would love for you to kind of just tell the world and tell Jacksonville here like who you are and a little bit about you, a little bit about the fight game and what got you into it.
All right. My name is Reggie Mack. I'm just an upcoming fighter trying to make it. Which is a very hard road, which most people don't know. But I can just talk about the journey to get here.
Yeah. Just
a little bit. First things first. People don't understand the fighting life. Honestly, it's one of those saying, the fight life, I didn't choose the fight life. The fight life chose me, because I didn't realize until I got older that this has been my blood. This is everything I've been doing my whole life, from Power Rangers to every little made-up thing. We all watched Power Rangers and thought we were bad. Everything I've been doing has been leading up to the fighting. It wasn't until finally, I don't know why I waited so long, but my senior year of high school, I decided to finally listen to my coaches and join the wrestling team. And then from there, I started off 9-0, and I was like, dude, I don't even know the technique yet, and I'm dominating all these kids. And it's like, it was just great to me. And then I missed weight one day actually on a wrestling mat, and I was wrestling at 145, and then I had to jump up 2 weight classes actually to 160.
Oof.
But then I swept them too. So it was like, okay, I could be pretty good at this. Altogether, I finished about 17-5, I think.
Wow.
Which I pretty much fell off during all the major tournaments.
Sure.
I kind of let it get in my head, the mental part of it. When you start looking at other guys' record and you're like, oh, this guy's 30-1. I'm not supposed to beat him, And then I kind of let that get, psych me out, which the mental part is a major part in this game.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much how I got my start. And then from there, I went to Ludus 2 years later because I just felt that void in my life. It was like I was missing something. I was working, but I didn't feel like I was living for something I really wanted to do. And then when I found Ludus, I just felt at home again. I took off with that. 3 months later, I entered my first jiu-jitsu competition where I got my nickname Snapback. Most people asking, Snapback, what?
Then most people are thinking a hat, right?
Exactly, they're thinking hats.
Yeah.
I actually got it in my very first competition match. And I locked up the Kimura early, and the guy just wouldn't let go. And I know I'm trying to be a nice guy. I'm like, I got it.
Tap, right? Let him tap, yeah.
I'm trying to let him tap, and then the timer is like, I'm looking at the timer, it's 10 seconds left. I'm like, okay, you just got to go for it. So I ripped it, and nonetheless, all you heard was bones pop, and everything just stopped. And ever since that day,
Snapback.
Snapback.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, and you mentioned Ludus. So Ludus MMA here in Jacksonville Beach, right?
Yes, sir.
Shouts to them. It's a. I would imagine it's a great gym. You're a huge proponent of them and talking about them in multiple interviews and things that I've seen. But if you guys want to check them out on Facebook, they're at ludus.martial.arts.jax on Facebook and ludusmartialarts.com, and also at Ludus Martial Arts on Instagram. So it's another, I think, as I'm learning more and more about some of these local gyms, it's just another great place for people to go and train and feel good about it. So, like, you mentioned kind of, how did you select Ludus? How did that happen?
I was just looking around at some of the top places and seeing where some of the other top fighters were. And basically, I made a list of gyms I wanted to visit, and I just went and visited. And when I went to Ludus, I felt home. Yeah. It was such a family-oriented environment, and everybody was happy and fun and really were eager to train there. It was a lot of young guys my age, which I feel is very important to get people kind of on the same place in you in life, because y'all kind of growing together. Y'all got the same story. You got the same motivation, drive. Y'all all headed to the same place. So that was very big on me choosing Ludus. Back then you had Preston Parsons, who was an absolute killer. I'm not sure if y'all have heard of him, but he's one of Combat Night's first studs, like one of Combat Night's first 55 champions. He went undefeated in Combat Night. He was undefeated pro for the longest until he met Mike Perry here, and actually here in House of Fame in Jacksonville. Those two clashed off, battle of the undefeateds. Great fight, but he didn't get his hand raised. But that guy was my motivation from day one. I just wanted to be like that guy.
Absolutely.
He was in there all day, literally 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. training every single day. And I mean, he was only 19-year-old taking over the pro game. So.
Man, and that's something that I've appreciated just about, talking to you a little bit, kind of watching some of your interviews, doing some research, right? You've got this sense of humility and just being humble about things. And even like when you've had difficulty, like I remember you saying something about like, ending at 17-5, but then saying, but like, I didn't have a whole lot of training. Like I was kind of late to the game to this, right? And so every time I walked away from some of these battles, some of these really close fights, like it's a learn. Like I've learned something. I realized that I need to sharpen up this part of my game, or I could have done this better, or I need to figure this part out. And I think that's it's powerful in the fact that you have enough self-awareness to know the things that you can walk away and train on, but you also have the confidence walking into the rings, right? And I think it's a hard balance to have, because you normally don't see that. Usually the humility piece you don't get a chance to see with fighters, because the mental game is so hard to stay focused and know that you can win every single one. Like, where does that humility come from?
To me, it's just always, I'm more of a fighter who I have to realize, okay, this is a fight. At the end of the day, anything can happen. You can get clipped with that bitch shot. You can catch that moment, like my last fight. I could have went in there, I'm going to dominate this guy, which I honestly thought, and I pretty much did for the most part. But like I said, it's the fight game. You get caught in situations, and that's all it takes. All it takes is a couple seconds. I made one mistake. He capitalized on it, And that's why I said when I had that interview with you after the fight, it's like, do I agree with the stoppage and how everything with my last fight went? No, not entirely. But at the end of the day, I should have never gotten in that position. That's up to me. That's my training. That's why I'm in the gym every day. I'm aware of these situations. And then for him, that guy is a true champion. That guy is a champion. I put everything on him. I've had him hurt numerous times. I gave my all in that fight. I can't say I didn't. But he caught his moment finally, and he capitalized on it. So
absolutely,
to them, that's my hats off to him. I'll be back. I just got to work harder, obviously. So I'll be back in the gym.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you want to fight the best.
It was a guy, Alex DiGiovanni. The guy I was originally supposed to fight for this. I went through 3 opponents to get to this fight this weekend, and I just always pride myself. I feel like a lot of amateurs want to run away from the tough talent. you know, because they're scared to fight someone or scared to take losses on their records. To me, it's like, this is my time to grow. This is my time to find out who I really am, what I'm going to be, what's my weaknesses. So when I get in the pro game, I don't have to take those unnecessary losses.
Sure.
You know, I'm trying to go straight to the top, like John Jones. You know, I'm trying. I'm 21. I have nothing but time. You know, so it's like, why not fight the tough guys now? Let's see what I'm made of now. And honestly, for me, I already know going into this, my next matchup definitely is probably going to be against another wrestler. Because I look at all my losses, it's against other gritty wrestlers like me. You know, it's one thing where I can go into a stand-up guy, and I believe in my hands most definitely. I believe in my stand-up. But when you have the dominant grappling is such a controlling situation. You literally control another man's body, you know, and there's nothing they can do to you. And to me, that you look at all my losses, it's been against other gritty wrestlers who are, I'm sorry, but wrestling is the best foundation to have. It's nothing like somebody who that grind is just unbelievable. The weight cuts we do, the physical toll it takes on your body, you know, and that's what I want for my next fight. I know, all right, I have these losses. Each every one have been against wrestlers. I'm not going to run away from that now. I'm going to take that head on. I have to figure this out now to get to that next level where I need to be. I have no trouble with stand-up guys, so why keep fighting though? You know. Now it's time to work on my weaknesses. So that's definitely the next step into this process for me.
Absolutely. No, and it's a great mentality, man. I think I've said it before in regards to just other things like leadership and leading people and stuff, is like there's a value to tenure. There's a value to doing something a long time and seeing all the little things and seeing things that you normally wouldn't see in times, you know, and seeing things that are, you know, once every couple of years or whatever the case is. Like, you just don't see it all the time. And when you do this for a couple of years, you're a young man kind of going forward, there's a ton of, you know, there's a ton of lessons right now. There's a ton of things right now that you'll be able to get through and get over and say, like, okay, I've been here before. I've seen that before, right? It's not as big of a deal now that I'm in the pros, right? And now it's a little bit more serious. It's a little bit more competitive, that type of thing. So that's awesome. One thing I wanted to ask you about was, you know, people sometimes associate fighting. They're like, oh man, fighting, right? Like, did you find it, right? Yeah, can you find something else to do, right? You know, you really want to get punched in the face, right? But I also think that there's a lot to fighting in how you push yourself, the challenges, how you can release tension, how you can release stress, things like that. So talk to me about what fighting has done for you, like in your life, and you know, how has it made your life better?
I think that's a fantastic subject, because I remember a few years back on an award show, a lady was dissing fighting. I can't remember her exact name, but I'm sure a lot of fight fans
last
know.
year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to me, she said fighting wasn't an art, which I think that was very disrespectful, because it's probably one of the more artistic things anybody could ever witness if they ever just take the time to go in there and see what we're doing. You know, you talking about jiu-jitsu, you talking about karate, you talking about boxing, you talking about Muay Thai, all these combined into one, you know, to form this beautiful world of MMA. You know, it's different body types. It's small things like that where somebody being skinny can throw off your whole game. Somebody being a thicker build, you could excel against them. It's every little thing with fighting, which makes it so beautiful. You know, and everybody brings different things. Like I said, somebody can be tall, somebody can be short and stocky, somebody could be quick like Mayweather, or somebody could hit you as hard as Conor McGregor. It's so many different things. So it's just a beautiful world to me. But personally, what it's done for me, honestly, I have to do this. I have to get mushy. It's helped me find this girl in my life. You know,
nice.
Right now,
all right.
so,
okay. All right.
Yeah. You know, we was training partners, and I mean, great. And what's better pushing that than to have your partner next to you doing the same exact thing? You
Absolutely.
know, you're both doing what you love. So
that's fantastic.
It's great.
Did you meet her at Ludus?
I met her at Ludus, actually. I met her
so let me ask you, when you were touring all these gyms, was she there? And you were like, I'm going to train here.
She was there.
He's talking about the other fighters. Now we really know.
I don't have no comment on that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a new marketing technique for these MMA and BJJ gyms. Like, hey, there's some good-looking girls in there.
Right.
We make some choices. That's awesome, man. Well, that's fantastic, man. And that's cool, because I think that's just one of the things that people that don't understand, right? And people that look at it as violent or barbaric is you know what it is. It is it's a real thing. You know what I'm
is.
saying? It's a real thing, and there's nothing more raw or natural than getting two people into a ring of like that and just saying it's just
pretty much
two
fighting to
go
death.
right, like go right, like it's and it pulls from somewhere historically. Right, when you look at history and all that type of, like it's always existed, you know, and sometimes it spins and it goes into some type of athletics from an Olympic standpoint. Sometimes it goes other directions, but I think that for a lot of fighters, there's just something in there that, like you said earlier, it's like you just know that this is what you do,
Exactly.
and I think it makes people it gives people balance, you know, it really does.
I agree, and I think the most like what you said, everybody think we're just aggressive, you know, like lunatics almost.
Yeah.
But if you ever watch a fight or any type of boxing or MMA event, you see the love after, you know, they're enemies for 15 minutes, 25 minutes.
Absolutely.
After that, it's nothing but hugs and love and laughing, you know, bleeding still out of their face, but they're sitting there bonding with one another. It's nothing like that friendship you bond after
Absolutely.
sharing that moment with somebody.
Yeah, when you put it all out there and you test your wills. I mean, I'll give it to John Jones. I think his speech at the end of the last fight, beating DC, and just saying that he was, you know, a great champion, a great father, a great husband, a great friend, a great coach, right, a great support, and that he aspires to be like him one day. I think those were heavy words. I think that was real.
Yeah, he really
you know,
meant it.
I think so. I really think he meant that. You know, and I hope that John does that, right? Because I was like, you know, I'm a huge John Jones fan, and still am, right? I was excited for him to come back and do that and be clean and go through. And that's just my hope, is that he continues down that journey, because he can go down as one of the best ever. And but I thought that was a classy thing for him to do, and I felt that it was real. It was very genuine.
Definitely, and that's two guys who hated each other, and
Absolutely.
I'm sure they honestly still do hate each other. But for that moment, you saw the level of respect they actually have for one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's fantastic. So let me ask you. So as a Combat Night veteran, because you've been fighting with them for how many years now?
I've been fighting for them for a couple now.
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
even recall.
It's been a good couple of years. How have you seen that promotion grow from when you started fighting to kind of where it is today?
First of all, just look at the number of fights they have now. Like we're approaching the 100th card almost. It'll be here in no time.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, you just see, first of all, the community has grown together because of that promotion.
Mm-hmm.
The MMA community has grown together, and then fighters. I think that's the main thing, and that's what this has been all about, is to put the growth for the fighters. If you look at some of the earlier fights.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, it's kind of like
it's like a tough man contest.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just whoever we get to fight, let's get him in, right?
Yeah, but now you see these guys and you see the technique behind these young guys and the gyms. Like you have a lot of legitimate gyms now, and people really going for this now because they have a platform to show this. And the fights, you've been to the fights this weekend. They were like UFC fights.
It was crazy. No, it was cool to see kind of, and we'll talk about in a second, just kind of amateurs and the professionals and some of the differences there. But I could to really see some of these fights, and it felt like, and I was at a UFC event in Denver a couple of months back, right? It felt like that energy was there.
Exactly.
Like, there was a point where I was just recording the crowd because there was a hometown fighter that was fighting from Orlando, and I can't remember which one it was, but like, you could tell the energy, like they were just waiting for that finish, right? Like, you know, like they were just waiting to explode. I was like, I got to record this because it's starting. You could feel the energy, and then he did, right? And then he ended the fight, and it was just like pandemonium, and it felt like a major UFC fight. But it was because of the talent of the fighters. You know, and seeing some of the jiu-jitsu that I saw, seeing some of the submissions that I saw, seeing some of the knockouts that we saw, right? It was, I mean, some really high quality,
it really is.
You know, and talent, and I mean, and well-matched talent too. That's the other thing too. There were a couple of fights, Austin Lane's fight, where I was like, this is not going to end.
Yeah,
exactly. I literally got next to the ring with my phone.
Let me ask you,
know?
Would you step in the cage with Austin?
Hell no.
Exactly.
I didn't want to step to the house to get an interview, but I did anyway. But I was like, I'm public out here. I'm safe. Right. That dude is a beast, right?
He is.
But you could just, I don't know. I think being a fan and watching it, not that the other guy wasn't any good, but you can just tell. Like you could just, I don't know. I think you could look at people
and just know.
And you kind of just know what's going to happen, right? And I had this sense of like this is going to be quick, and I got the whole 14 seconds
exactly
on my phone, right? That was, and wow. I posted it on Twitter and I tagged him and he reposted it and I was like, hell yeah, man. Right. It was amazing. But other than that, I mean, your fight, like there was some fights that were back and forth, and it was technique, and it was real, just a great entertaining card. So, so that's awesome, man. It's a great point to think about how many fights they've got now, and kind of where it's going. I think that the 100th fight will be I hope it's gonna be a blowout, man.
Be a great night. I hope I get invited to be on that big show. But Richard, like you said, Richard is pretty much their primary matchmaker. He does a great job. You know? He does a great job, and he listens. He like knows the levels of the fighters. Like, okay, this guy's just coming up. We got to give him. You know, he's always gonna make it a test for you, but he's not gonna give you someone who's gonna blow you out the water. He's not gonna set you up for failure.
Right.
You know, and I think he's done great with me, especially.
Yeah.
He's always given me exactly what I asked for. You know, a tough guy, someone who's gonna fight.
Yeah.
I don't want a guy who's gonna one punch just shell up. You know?
Right.
I want to be tested. You know, I want to see my own blood. You know, if you can bring that out of me, that's what I want.
Absolutely.
Nice.
You know, a lot of people are scared of that, but I'm still waiting on that. You know, I'm still waiting for that shot where I get clipped and have to go in deep waters. You know, I feel like that's where you learn the most about yourself. Like, okay, that's when a real fighter is made. Absolutely. I've got hurt. How am I going to overcome this? You know, and that's what this path for me coming on now. I just lost my belt. This is, you know, I won that belt, and then I defended it twice. I had 3 title fights. Yeah. And you just on cloud 9, like, oh yeah, nobody's gonna beat me. This is But then, you know, it's kind of like I'm already humble, but that's even more humbling. It's like, okay, I need to work more. Yeah. You know, I kind of took a step back. Because, like you said, it's getting comfortable a little bit. Yep. And you're not in the gym as much as you need to be. So it's like, okay, I need to get back on my grind, you know? Yeah. Anything can happen. I'm not better than anybody. Absolutely. Just because I have this belt doesn't mean, you know, I'm going to keep it or I'm going to win it every night, you know? I'm a fighter just like him, you know? Yep.
So. Absolutely. Now, you got, I want to talk a little about, you had some boys that were there at the fight, some guys up in the stands. Oh, yeah. Here's why I know that, because they went Facebook Live during your fight. Yeah. And I was watching it ringside. Yep, I was literally watching them watch you on Facebook Live, and I was watching the fight at the same time. And they were hyped, man. I was like, this is great, man, right? And I could tell like they were super bummed at the end, but they were having a good time. So talk to me about some of the people that were there supporting you.
I had a lot of people there. I had my good friends Alex and Matthew and Blake and all these guys and Damon who came out. A lot of them was old schoolmates, and then other ones were coworkers. You know, guys who really knew what this meant to me and seen me from my first fight. They were actually, every single one of them was there for my first fight. Yeah. And so they seen the growth of me, and they know how hard I've been putting in this work. So it's just, to me, I'd rather have that small group of loyal fans who win or loss are going to be there for me and pick me up and let me know, hey, you still got this. You know, we know you're a beast. Then, you know, a bunch of people just screaming my name for one moment while I have the belt, and then as soon as I lose it, oh, they're screaming the other guy's name. Right. You know, I don't want that. I want this little group of people that I know is going to be for me when I lose. Yeah. You know, you look at these guys in boxing who always talk about, oh, when I beat Pacquiao, I had like 100 messages in my phone, but when I lost, you know, to Mayweather, then that's not, nobody was blowing up my phone. Right. You know, those guys, I know they got my back no matter what. Yeah. Yeah. Those guys uplifted me. You know, they let me know what I was doing wrong. You know, and they were like my own coach. They were like, hey man, did your coach was telling you this and that? I was like, well, thank you. I should have had you in my corner next time.
Right,
you know,
yeah, clearly, right?
So, you know, it's just great.
That's good. That's what friends are for, though. You know what I'm saying? Is they want to see you do well, but at the same time, you know, they want to make sure that they can help move you forward, right? Help you progress. Help give feedback or whatever their thoughts are. Sometimes, you know.
On that, if I can make one comment,
of course.
With that being said, I really owe a lot to those guys because I lost so many friends doing this whole fighting thing. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you don't want to come around me no more. You know, you don't want to do this, and they don't text you no more. Anytime something come up, they want nothing to do with you because they think like you just don't want to be around them. But in reality, I'm just trying to work on my dreams. Yep. You know? Yeah. So for them to stick with me, even though I haven't been talking to them as much as I used to, you know, it's very great, and it feels great. People don't understand what that really means to a fighter.
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. Well, and I think too, like, you know, when people, like, they always say, like, you know, 10,000 hours, right? Yeah. And how much time you got to put into master something, and the amount of commitment and focus and time and energy to get to the part where you're walking around with the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot in there, and that means like you can't be on your phone. That means that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think of a lot of people that I know that have really gotten success in life in all different types of aspects of music and this and that, and they're the hardest ones to get a hold of. not because they don't want to talk or catch up, because they're that busy doing their thing, right?
Exactly.
Like they're that deep. Like you don't roll and then have your phone on you. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things that people understand. So it's a great call out, because it's tough. Like people, you want to surround yourself with people that believe in your dreams and want to help you support your dreams. But that can be tough. It's also hard because I know, like from a health standpoint and from a mental standpoint, to get in the shape that you're in, to be able to fight like this, you got to avoid, a lot of things out there that are going on. You got to avoid the parties, the clubs, the drinking, like even bad foods, right?
Yep.
And so if you got people like that in your life that are living that life, having a good time, you kind of got to limit your time with them too.
Yeah, no, I get that all the time. But like, why don't you come drink with me? I can't. I mean, I can come there, but I'm not gonna be drinking. Why would you do that? You're just gonna be lonely. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
I'm good, right? Because I gotta get on the mat tomorrow, right?
Exactly. I just take this water bottle.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I mean, I drink occasionally, like right after my fight. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I've never smoked or did anything, so I'm pretty good in that point. But it's very a hard thing to do, especially. I mean, it's a trending thing now. A lot of friends do it. A lot of people doing it. So you can't surround yourself and give in to that temptation. You just kind of got to keep a.
Yeah.
You just gotta say no sometimes. It hurt their feelings, but you're doing it for your best good. And as your friends, they should know that.
Absolutely, no, that's good. So we talked a little bit about kind of amateur and professional, but what is the difference? Like, obviously, pros get paid, right? Right. But then I saw amateurs, like you guys had to have like shin guards and foot guards on. Is that the only difference in the actual ring?
I wouldn't say so, because some states, amateurs are not required to wear shin pads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Georgia, they don't require you to wear shin pads. But I think the main difference as amateur is you're still finding your identity. I think that's the main thing. And we're over aggressive. We're always looking to put on the show and be this highlight, which gives great fights,
Sure.
but it's not the most technical fights.
Yeah.
As pros, you see guys who are very calm, patient. They're more slow-paced fights than amateurs. At least I felt that way this weekend. Yeah. And it's more like a dance. It's like a chess match. It's like I give this, you give me that, I give you this. And it's just they're kind of feeding off each other energy, just doing a graceful dance. Meanwhile, we're a mosh pit. That's how it is. So.
That's true. So do you make that decision then to go from amateur to pro, and then or is that somebody comes on and says, hey, we want to pay you for this fight? Like how does that work out?
Yeah, at the end of the day, you make that decision.
Okay.
Promoters can try to tell you, hey, you should be pro now. But I feel like you never rush that, because only you truly know when you're ready. Your promoters or your, coaches, they're there. Coaches are there every day in the gym. They see what you're doing, but they don't know some of the other things that may be going on in your life that could affect you on that level. Like I said, the mental part is definitely a big part. So we'll go pro. I feel like your life has to be, like you have to have some sense of direction first, or it's going to be a chaotic mess. But for me, I always said at least 20 amateur fights, which is a high number. People look at me like I'm crazy, but by then you really have developed our identity. You really master a lot of skills. So, I mean, I feel like patience is the best thing that you can do. There's no rush. That's your health and that's your life. And you look at these champions. At most, they last about 3 title fights before they lose their belts.
Sure.
Or they won't make it to a title fight until they're about 30.
Right.
Right. It takes a long time, a long, hard grind. And then you got to think about the injuries in that, too.
Yeah.
Like, you sideline for a while. So, patience is just a virtue in the fight game.
Yeah.
How old are you right now?
I'm 21.
21.
Yeah. I'm turning 22 on the 14th of this month.
Oh, man. Oh, happy early birthday. Yeah. Ballin'. No, that's so true, and it's a great approach to it too, because I think that taking your time, being patient, but also realizing that I would say, like, once you go pro, now that record really matters.
Exactly. It's no going back.
Right. And I learned that from kind of boxing and everything. It's like once you're in now. So now it does matter if you're 1-0 or 1-1 or 0-1 or 0-2, like trying to get on other certain fights and trying to be, that guy or that girl who's trying to really build your record up. So I applaud that patience, because that's tough, man. It is, I could tell, like,
because I want the money.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That's awesome. So kind of speaking of just amateur and support and money. Right.
Yeah.
So the GDOHH some man foundation.
Yes.
Right. It has really come a long way in you know, I really appreciated seeing them there at the fight, and obviously there's a huge connection because Josh started Combat Nights, right? Like he started that with Mitchell and I think Richard, right? The three of them, and so obviously, you know, his passing and now his family and his friends kind of carrying on his legacy. You were a recipient of one of the awards and kind of scholarships there, and I think that, you know, their whole idea is around supporting fighters and supporting combat sports and wrestlers and saying, like, look, we can't give you $1 million, right? We can't give you all this. We can give you maybe something to cover your travel fees, maybe something to cover this, a little bit of training, maybe, you know, some gear, just anything at all that we can give, you know, under Josh's name is what we want to do. So what did that mean to you receiving that award? And what can you tell me a little bit about, you know, your relationship with Josh and kind of Combat Night fights and everything?
Okay, it meant a lot to me, actually. And also, first, shout out Troy as well, you know, with Josh. A very big, important part.
Absolutely.
I miss that guy announcing my fights, you know?
Yeah.
That guy he's just a great dude. I never really got to talk to him, but just the energy he always gave out. He was a great dude as well. You can just tell, like you said, you just look at certain people, you just know. And Josh always was a great dude. You know, he talked to all us amateur fighters, and, you know, he tried to let us know and keep us on the right path. Even after losses, he'll be the first one to come up to you and let you know how great you did, and you should really keep it up. Like, you have a true shot to make it. He would never let you give up on yourself or get down on yourself. Like, he was just there for you. Like, Richard's there for you. Mitchell's there for you. I had to contact Richard recently, actually, like 2 days ago, just about the fight game, you know, because I'm coming off a loss. I got a lot of things going in my head. I'm like, what's the training? What's this? Like, what changes should I make? So I had to go down to him to ask for guidance, and those guys are always there. Like, people only see the promoter side, but behind the scenes, those are great people who genuinely care about us. Because honestly, for the longest, I thought I was like one of the most underrated fighters going in here. I was like, what it's going to take to get noticed? I know I'm like not one of those guys to be in your face talking trash or doing all this stuff for publicity. I'm just there to fight, you know? But Richard and Mitchell and them always noticed that. They noticed how anytime somebody pulled out, I was the first guy to step up. I was the first guy always there ready to scrap. And I've been working my butt off for the past few years to get where I'm at. And, you know, they gave me this honor. I'm so grateful for it because it lets me know that what I'm doing is being noticed, and that, you know, for other people, if they notice it, I know other people are noticing it. Like the kids in the gym, they come to me all the time. You know, you feel like a celebrity with some of those guys, you know, that you train with. You know, and it's like, it's just humbling. You know, it's a good feeling. It motivates you to keep going. So,
no, that's cool. I appreciate that. And I think it's just it's you know, it's such a great foundation, and it's guided by love and family and friends and a memory, and you know, 100% of all proceeds is just going back to fighters. You know what I'm saying? Just like yourself, just trying to get out there and live your dream and wanting to help accomplish that. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to help out however I can.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm excited.
That's big for the foundation. Actually,
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just excited. I just felt like I had to do more, and so that's going to be. It's going to be my mission right now. It's just got to help spread the love and really, you know, get people aware of the foundation and help as many fighters as we possibly can and talk to people in the community to help support the foundation and see what we can do. So I'm definitely excited about that.
Are you willing to talk about what they did for you, the foundation?
Yeah, they gave me some gear to help train, you know, boxing gloves, shin pads.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you can never get enough of those. And plus, it's hard as a fighter, especially a young fighter, 21, you know, already. And they gave me some money as well, you know, to help cover my gym fees, traveling fees.
Wow, that's awesome.
I stay by the airport in Jacksonville, and then I train by Jacksonville Beach, which is about, you know, it's a pretty good gap, about a 40-minute drive. And then I also work in Orange Park, which is another 30-minute drive. So I go full circle Jacksonville every day. That's a lot of gas.
Take a gas every 2 days.
Exactly. You know, so every little penny counts and every little thing counts. Because sometimes you might not go to the gym because you're like, oh, I can't fit this in the budget. I can't afford to make that trip, or I'm not going to get to work. If I don't get to work, I'm going to lose my job. Then I really can't afford anything. So
Right on, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's very helpful.
Yeah,
Cool.
oh, that's awesome. You mentioned kind of the kids in the gym, right? So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit more just about maybe some of your peers that you have at the gym, some of your coaches, some of the trainers at the gym. You know, who are some of those people right now that are really doing a lot to kind of help Reggie Mack, you know, on your journey?
It's a lot of change going on in the gym right now.
Yeah.
So it's still a bit in the flux, but I say definitely like some of the people who've been there from day one and there for me every day right now. Liz, one of my training partner, Liz Amble, she's just a ball of energy. She was actually in my corner. I don't know if you saw her. The one yelling, going crazy.
Yep.
You know, she's just a ball of energy. You know, she
Yeah.
keeps me on my feet.
Yeah.
So it's great to have that. And then Mark Q, he's been teaching a lot of the jiu-jitsu class to help out lately, and he's always been teaching with the kids and helping out. And that guy actually gave me my first training camp.
Yeah.
And we trained every morning, every day. We woke up 6 a.m. to go to the gym and train. Actually with me and my girl. So yeah. And you know, it's just guys like Mark Q and Liz who literally construct their schedules to help me, and they're working their schedules around me, just putting the extra work for me. You can't, you can't get that many places. People who really change everything that they're doing just to help you out and help further your dreams. So those two definitely right now are like key people in my life. I'll never forget them. You know.
Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that because I think it always takes a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what with anybody who's wildly successful. It's never, I don't think of any situation where it's just one person. It's always a team of people or a handful of people that are there constantly helping support and push you and get you to where you need to be and you know, do those things. So that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Well, this is a part of the show that we call Whoop There It Is.
Okay.
After a classic 90s hip-hop music track, okay? So it's pretty easy. I know everybody says, uh-oh.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah. What's going to happen?
Be very afraid.
So we just take the letter.
That's good.
You're making me afraid.
Exactly. We take the letters WHOOMP, and I have a word for each one, or like a little theme for each letter. So basically, it lets us dive a little bit deeper. So the W for Whoop There It is weekend activity. So what's your favorite weekend activity?
Work. No, it's the sad truth. It's the sad truth. I'm usually at work.
Yeah.
But outside of that, honestly, I'm most likely just chilling at home, playing my game, or spending time with my friends.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm playing a game, I'm still fighting. I'm playing UFC, you know? So it's like, I just can't get away, you know?
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I'll take that. All right. So the H is for habit. So what habit do you have that drives people crazy?
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
I have this weird obsession with popcorn. Like today at work, I was carrying around popcorn bags in my back pocket. And, you know, just randomly throughout the day, I'll pop popcorn bag and start eating it. I don't know. That's my weakness. Popcorn, you know, that or I'm always singing around doing weird stuff, you know. I'm weird.
Nothing wrong with weird.
Nothing wrong with it. So is it just like straight up like just butter popcorn? Is it not butter popcorn? Like about caramel corn, kettle corn?
Actually, I've been trying a lot of popcorn lately, so you know, I'm open to new ideas, but butter, you can't go wrong with butter.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nickname coming one of these days instead of the.
I'm the new butter bean.
Yeah, that's awesome. Reggie Popcorn Mack.
I like it.
No,
He doesn't
No,
like
that's
it.
so much,
That's
right?
don't listen to this, people.
No, Snapback is way better.
Very cool. It
It's a
is.
better story, right? Okay, cool. So the O for Whoop There It Is. The first O is around opportunity. So have you ever passed on an opportunity and then felt like, man, I probably should have did that?
Nah, I can't say I have. I can't, like I said with Mitchell, anytime something gets thrown my way,
Yeah.
I'm the first guy. Like, let's
yeah.
go. You know,
Yeah.
let's go do it. With anything in life, you know, I just feel like, hey, you got to take it sometimes. You never know if you miss out on it. So
Yeah.
it's just like, if it's there, you got to seize the moment.
Yeah.
So
Just say yes, man, right?
exactly,
Take it. I love it. Okay, I'll take that. That's
take
good.
the risk.
All right. So the second O is over. So what fashion trend or song or meme are you like over? Like you're like, I'm over it. No more.
That's a lot.
Yeah. We got a list. Go for it.
Wow.
We got all day.
I mean, first of all, that girl, Jeez, what was her little cat's line?
Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Catch Me Outside. That was like annoying. You know,
Yeah.
that got way over the point.
She's not in jail yet. I made that claim. Remember on an early episode, season 1.
She's not?
I said she will be in jail at some point. I guarantee.
Have you
it.
seen that other dude? I think he's a local guy. Boom Gang or something.
Oh, like the
That
he got
crazy
arrested,
dude,
right?
Yeah, I think he finally got arrested.
Yeah,
That's one I've been over a long time
Yeah.
ago. You know, we just keep promoting
Crazy
stupid
people.
stuff.
Dumb stuff, man. Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of dumb stuff that's going on. The list could go on forever, like you said. You know, I think just social media as a whole has produced all these people.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
So true.
kind of just thinking of giving up fighting is to start recording me doing dumb stuff like running outside naked. You know, make a couple $100. You know.
No, that's definitely jail time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
Well, if I make the money, I'll have bail. You know. Nah, I'm just playing.
No, I'd much rather prefer your knockouts and your
Yeah,
standing
I was-
There you
guillotines.
go, there you
Yeah. Those can go. Those can go for me. All right. So the M for Whoop, there it is around musician. So favorite musician, music.
Cole.
J. Cole?
I have to
Okay.
let you get out of it. J. Cole.
Yeah.
Very lyrical guy. I've always been big on lyrics.
Okay.
You know, I'm promoting a good message. Like he promotes a message to the youth and just people all together. Like first of all, like Crooked Smile. It's just he's talking about his teeth and how he could have fixed it and changed who he was, but he wanted to show you guys like, hey, I got flaws too, and we can still make it just the way we are. You talking about just a lot of songs. He's teaching you to love yourself and really like embrace all your flaws. Don't change that. You know?
Okay.
So,
Very cool. Yep.
definitely.
J. Cole. Okay, so now you said J. Cole. So now let's talk a little bit about. So you got J. Cole, you got Kendrick's last
All
album,
those
you got
guys.
Jay-Z's. What do you think about 444?
I think it was deep. You know, I think it was definitely a different album for him.
Yeah.
And I think it's something you need at this point of what's going on in this world right now. It's something you kind of really needed. You know, I thought OJ was a very underrated but powerful song.
Yeah.
You know, so I can't really go into all the lyrics. I'm not even sure if I should, but you know, that's a song you should listen to. It's very powerful. You know, there's a lot of meaning behind those.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I can appreciate that. Yeah. I'm a hip hop guy.
Alessia Cara
Yes,
and
he
all
is.
those. I'm not sure if you heard of her, but yeah,
Absolutely.
just anybody who's presenting a good message out.
Yeah.
That's people I really enjoy to listen to.
Okay.
So,
Now, were you born and raised in Jacksonville?
I was.
Okay.
I was.
Okay. So any Jacksonville artists? Anybody here?
It's a lot of
There's a lot.
a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm just
artists.
wondering. Yeah.
I haven't listened to too many.
Yeah.
You know, I got a friend actually. She's a very close friend. He's her brother, LJ the Joker.
Okay.
I know he's been trying to come up, and I've tried to get behind him before. He actually made a really good theme song for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's been trying to really get that on and promote that to the team, and hopefully he can get on. You know, I feel like that would be great, especially for the Jaguars to do it.
Sure.
Because why put money and invest in all these people outside of your own city when you got so much talent here? Let's help each other get on. Let's provide that platform. That's what Josh is doing for us.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep. No, 100%. I totally agree. I think there's so much talent in this city, and I think there's already this feeling of Duval, right, and kind of Jacksonville and this whole thing, you know, and you know, the Corey, the guy who makes my shirts, you know, he's got a local business here and he does T-shirts. He's got everything Duval, his clothing line.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just, I love it because it's like there's a pride to the city.
Exactly.
You know, that I think is just now it's just now starting to come together a little bit. Like I think the city is so big that it's almost kind of like New York in that you've got different boroughs, right?
Pretty much, you got like the beach kids, and then
you got like South Side, you got Orange Park, you got the North Side, you know, like you got the West Side. You got all these different, almost kind of like neighborhoods and sides of the city, because it's such a huge city. But I think that, you know, I would 1,000% agree with you that, like, you know, the Jaguars and the Jumbo Shrimp and, you know, the Giants and all these teams that we have, like, they could do a lot if they would just kind of connect with local artists and local musicians, and because it would just, I think it would just help escalate that whole feeling of pride for the city.
Yeah, I mean, look at the comedian Lil Duval. Like, I've never really watched too much of his stuff, so I'm kind of on my end. I haven't promoted him like the best, or really gave him a chance like I should have, but. A lot of people, you know, you don't even hear nothing about him, or he doesn't really come to the city much anymore because there's no love for him in his own city. You know, he's one of the biggest stars to actually make it out of Jacksonville, and nobody is supporting him here. So it sucks.
No, it sucks. It's something that we got to fix. You know what I'm saying? And I think progression in the city, and I think continuing to find ways to bring and really promote the talent that's here. It'll catch you eventually. Yeah, it'll catch you eventually. Cool. All right. So the P for Whoop, there it is around passion. So any other passions besides the things that we've talked about today so far?
I was very deep growing up into poetry, actually.
Okay.
I think that's where the lyrical side really came in. You know, it's before fighting and getting in the gym, that was the way I really let out a lot of myself and my emotions and let everything out. I've never been one to really showcase my emotions to people or go deep into stuff, so that was an outlet for me. And I was just really good at it. When I finally started sharing them with the school and stuff, I had a lot of people get behind me, so I was like, it was great, you know.
That's awesome.
Right on.
And was that like, did you get into poetry like through school or through like what got you into it initially?
I've always loved listening to poetry and looking into it and reading it. And I would just do stuff as a kid growing up on my own, but it was 9th grade year in English where we did a whole month of poetry and we made portfolios on poetry. And that's when I really discovered, you know, the talent that I didn't know I really had, but the way I could put the words out into this form, it was very deep, and it was a lot of people can feel it, and I actually got an A. So, you know, it was great. You know, that was even a bonus. So,
success.
You know? And, you know, people really wanted to see me perform poetry after that. And, you know, I haven't been doing that lately, but that was definitely a big passion growing up and all throughout high school. I really leaned onto that hard, as well as working on cars, actually. I was doing collision repair because I went to Frank H. Peterson, which actually has academies. And I did collision repair. I went to 2 competitions. I did regional my junior year. I finished in 3rd, so I didn't make state. But then the next year, I finished in 2nd. I went to state. I didn't place in state, but that was just a growth, you know, and it made me feel great. I kept working hard at it, and I was pretty good. Obviously, I didn't keep up with it, but I found fighting and other passions I wanted to pursue, but that was also another passion growing up. So that's
awesome, man. Well, cool. Well, everybody out there, come check out Reggie Mack. You can catch him at the gym the damn time at Ludus Martial Arts down on Jack's Beach. So make sure you check it out, or you can find him on Facebook. And that's the only place you can find him on.
Yes. I'll probably make some after this interview.
They go hash it. We're gonna make you make some more social media accounts, right? Just don't waste your time on them. All right, stay in the gym.
There you go. That's right.
You gotta represent Jax, man. We need more belts and titles, and you gotta go pro.
I'm gonna get that back for us.
Yeah. How many more fights you got until you hit 20?
I got 11 more fights.
About halfway there then.
Yep, halfway there.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not sure about September 2nd yet. Like I said, I'm still going through this adjustment period, but definitely, at least, if not for me, come out September 2nd at the Jacksonville Landing for the next Combat Night show and support your local talent. Like,
absolutely,
we're giving our hearts out and we're risking our health and everything for free, actually, just for the passion. And it's something you should just experience, just to see the atmosphere. So I would definitely invite all you guys to come out to Combat Night and just help us live our dreams, you know?
Right on, man.
Cool. All right. Well, that's a wrap, man. Thank you for being on the show, brother.
Thank you.
Life of Lozo, and we are out. Peace. The Life of Lozo podcast is brought to you by Stay Tuned Studios, SDS Podcast, The Taylor Shop Inc., 03 Productions, The Beat Brigade, Rhyme Designs Clothing, Ronz World Guitars, The Music Experience, Custom Shirts and more, TheMishmash.com, and of course, Jack's Nutrition. Special shout out to articaiwillis.com and nerdities.net. Please like, share, review, and tell everybody about the show. I appreciate y'all, and until next week, peace.